We're at a point now in society where just about every platform, every avenue is being taken over, infected by social justice warriors. I know it seems like an antiquated phrase at this point, but how else can you describe this, right? You have a property as old as Scooby-fucking-Doo being torn apart by an unfunny hack, okay? You guys remember Mindy Kaling? She used to be of average size, but now her strikeout percentage when it comes to successful shows rivals that of Chris Davis, and she's had more pilots killed than United Airlines. And now she's gonna attach her sizable ass to the Scooby-Doo IP, which you thought would have been killed off a long fucking time ago with those atrocious live-action adaptations in, what was that, the late 90s, early 2000s? But no. Her, right here, she's going to be Velma in a Velma-centric show for HBO that doesn't include Scooby-Doo or Shaggy or Fred or Daphne. It's just going to be a Velma story. What? And no, they're not going to be taking a look at any of Velma's old history. No, it's just going to be a story about an East Asian woman and the heritage of that, just with the Velma stamp on it. So they're leeching off of an IP. They don't have confidence in their own ideas. They've seen the Mindy Kaling show. There were zero laughs to be had. And clearly, over the past year and a half, decade, she's just been sitting around and probably had her hoof about wrist deep in a bag of Scooby snacks, and she thought, hey, you know what? If I'm not funny enough on my own, I can just leech off of the success of a beloved franchise. Enough people out there have been doing it, so why not hop on board? Just make sure that those tracks on that train are reinforced. HBO Max's new Scooby-Doo spin-off series has been met with backlash as iconic character Velma has been reimagined as an Asian character voiced by Mindy Kaling. Why? The popular animated franchise, which began in 1969, was traditionally made up of a cast of all white characters, with white actors voicing the parts. Yeah, okay, nobody has a problem with somebody different playing a role, okay? We've talked about this quite a lot whenever we discuss issues like this. It's not the fact that somebody of a different race is taking over and live action adapting an already established character. It doesn't matter if they're normally white and then they become black. Vice versa, insert an Asian, insert a Jew, insert a native. It doesn't really much matter unless it plays an integral role to their character. Or if you're doing like this, you're just rewriting the character and just using the name. You're just wearing the IP as a skin suit to just push your stupid ideology. And that's what this is going to be. Standalone series titled Velma, will serve as an origin story for the Mystery Incorporated gang's designated brainiac. Again, do you think that this is going to be a part of the Scooby-Doo cinematic universe that you need to establish Velma first? Honestly, everybody's least favorite member of the squad? Seriously. A fucking show about how the Mystery Machine got its paint job would do better. With the character being of East Asian descent, no pictures have been released yet, obviously because they haven't got the wide-angled lenses in yet. However, diehard fans have questioned why the series couldn't create a new role in order to reflect diversity, while others claimed it was playing up to stereotypes to make the bookish and nerdy character an Asian role. No, nobody thought that, except for just a couple of Twitter weirdos. Cynical Reviews, which runs a very good YouTube channel out there when it comes to critiquing media, points this out, and I totally agree. Changing the race of the character is one thing, it's weird, but whatever, but you are also changing the setting and removing everything else Scooby-Doo related. Why not just make a brand new character? Why leech off an existing IP? That's exactly what everybody's asking. If you're going to bear no resemblance to the source material, why use the name of the source material? If you're funny, if your story is going to be good, it doesn't have to be attached to anything. You can take inspiration from Scooby-Doo. That's fine. You can go ahead and you can call her Belma, okay? And she's going to be part of Strange Ideas Incorporated. But instead, no. There are very few franchises that are even left. I can look over at my shelf over there. I can see things like Aliens. That's been destroyed. Terminator, don't make me laugh. Every superhero film has been invalidated by the recent string of Marvel garbage television shows for Disney+. Like, they're tearing everything apart. Star Wars, James Bond, it's all going down the shitter. And this right here is just another recent example, okay? Television, movies, passively consumable media, it's all shit. It's all been infested. It's all been ruined. And if it's not ruined right now, it's going to be ruined in the future. But you know what? All of this stuff kind of got brought to the forefront from a little thing that everybody, well, all of the journalists out there are scared of, Gamergate. And no, it didn't originate there, obviously. Commercials were shit for a very long time, constantly making men look stupid, and women, and especially women of color, the smartest people in the room at all times. That's stuff that's been going on for a very, very, very long time, probably since the late 90s, perhaps. But the first real medium to push back was the gaming industry. Okay, it was the little nerdy kids club. They just had their own little place, their own little space to just be dorks, okay? And then the weirdos wanted in. They came in, they infested it, and then they interjected their own little brand of corruption, and one thing led to another, and then what started out as about having an ethical games journalism industry eventually just turned into calling every gamer dangerous, toxic, the misogynists, bigots, whatever have you. And now, at the end of the day, I don't know, I haven't played a game. That's not fair. Last year, when Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, I played the fuck out of that. 100%, a great game. But that was the first game since 2014 or 2015 that I played. Just because, yeah, the entire industry just went right down the shitter. Okay? It used to be something I was vehemently passionate about. It's just I can't bring myself to give a little bit of a shit about this. And that's why whenever you hear little stories like this, every once in a while, a couple E3s ago, there was an indie game. E3 is the big trade convention for the video game industry. Very, very brief synopsis on that. There was a 2D indie game that was out there. Had very striking neon imagery, and it just wasn't, or at least it didn't address politics whatsoever. I think it was called like The Last Night or something like that. A typical indie game title. And the creator came out, and a very, very small creator, and he's like, no, this isn't going to be social justice-y. There's not going to be any underlying message. It's just going to be a fun game. It's going to push back against the weirdos. And then it was summarily canceled not long after that because, well, guess what? The weirdos have the institutional power when it comes to the games industry, and ever since then, they've just been doubling down on their power, just destroying more franchises than they've been creating good ones in, well, the past half decade at this point, at least. Last of Us, Battlefield, you name it, it's all corrupt at some level or another. But there was another indie game that really took off just as I was kind of getting out of gaming. Not voluntarily, just by the fact that I was tired of being preached to, and I seen it coming early, Uncharted 4. But it was a little franchise, just a little indie game, a little jump scare simulator, Five Nights at Freddy's, okay? It's been sitting in the middle of the screen long enough. I don't know if you guys have read ahead a little bit, but as you can see, the Five Nights at Freddy's creator, Scott Cawthon, he made a boatload of money off of this. He made several sequels. I think it got up to numbered iterations all the way up till four or five, but then there was another little spin-off with friends. This dude is set for life off the back of a very successful game that didn't infuse any politics, that was just very catchy. It got right on that initial wave of gaming YouTubers out there. They hopped on there, they screamed their lungs out about it, and it was the most popular. It rode the wave of the resurgence of horror games that were out there, the Outlast, Amnesia, Soma, that wave. But it was more accessible because you could immediately just jump right in, and it was guaranteed scares if you weren't good at the game. And as soon as you start the game, you tend to not be very good at the beginning. So it was very popular. And then the games progressed and moved on. And now a new iteration is going to be coming out. It's a lot more high budget. And Scott Cawthon is putting quite a bit of production behind this. It has quite a big fan base, and it's keeping down that same path of not being political and just being all about the gameplay. It's not something that I like, but I like what Scott Cawthon was trying to do. He was being very open. He came out and said, hey, I'm a Republican. I've donated to the GOP. I think that all of you weirdos are, as such, unnecessary for the games industry. And hey, you know what? If I get canceled, I get canceled. It happens. I got enough money for the rest of my life. I don't have to worry about what the Twitter mob has to say. And it looks like the Twitter mob worked in this one. Five Nights at Freddy's creator Scott Cawthon is retiring after facing a backlash for donating to Trump and other Republicans. Cool. They won again. This is why gaming, I don't know, it's going to have to crash hard into the ground. And based on all of the ingenuity and inventions that have been coming out lately, I don't think that it's terribly far off. Five Nights at Freddy's Scott Cawthon is retiring amid an uproar over his donations to GOP lawmakers last week. Fans called out his donations to former President Donald Trump and other Republicans because these losers have nothing better to do than see how a game creator spends his own money. And it's not like these weirdos would have bought this game anyways. They would have just pirated it or watched a gameplay of it. At the time, Cawthon said he's a Republican, adding, "If I get canceled, then I get canceled." That's almost written as if it is celebratory in nature. Five Nights at Freddy's creator Scott Cawthon is retiring after facing backlash for donating to Republican politicians, including former President Donald Trump. I've had a blessed, fulfilling, and rich career, the game developer said Thursday on his website. I've tried to make some good games, let the debate ensue, and I've witnessed the creation of possibly the most creative and talented fan base on the planet. Cawthon said he will use his retirement to spend more time with his 6 kids. Wow, did you know what caused all that? As I realized I was in my mid-30s when I created the series and I'm now approaching my mid-40s, I realized that I miss a lot of things and I got to focus on before Five Nights at Freddy's became such a success. I miss making games for my kids, I miss doing it just for fun, and I miss making RPGs even though I stink at it. Cawthon added that his departure won't spell the end of the popular survival horror game series. He chose someone to take over Five Nights at Freddy's and announce his successor later. Or he will. The article's brand new. The controversy erupted last week when it surfaced that Cawthon had a history of donating to Republican lawmakers. Okay, including Trump and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Okay, that I have an issue with, but whatever. I don't care. According to Open Secrets, cool. His political donation sparked outrage, particularly with the alphabet weirdos who make up a sizable part of his fan base. That's just untrue, and you can't prove that whatsoever. In the following days, Cawthon defended his support of several candidates to whom he had donated, including Maryland congressional candidate Kimberly Klacik, a black Republican, Democrat presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard. Oh, okay, yeah, don't bring that up. But yeah, she's a TERF, though. She bad. And Trump. I support President Trump because I feel like he's the best man to fuel a strong economy and stand up to America's enemies abroad, of which there are many, he said on Reddit. God damn it. Okay, as much as I like this guy, the life decisions are a little bit fucking questionable. I exercise my right and my duty as an American citizen to vote for and support the candidates who I feel best run the country for everyone. And that's something that I won't apologize for, Cawthon added. Even if there were candidates who had better things to say about the LGBT community directly and bigger promises to make, I believe that their stance on this issue would have ended up doing much greater harm to those communities than good. Cool. What about that is objectionable? Other than nothing. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, mob win. Mob win. And you know where else they're winning? I know this is all a downer and it's a little bit sad for a Sunday, but hey, we're here. Victoria's Secret, okay, maybe many a teenage boy's favorite catalog at one point or another, most known for their, fashion show, their aforementioned catalogs, but what do they do exactly? Oh, they sell underwear that's supposed to be attractive for the person, not for the person putting it on. No, it's normally going to look good, maybe not necessarily be all that comfortable, but it's for the person that they're putting it on for. So why are they flipping the script and running with an I hate men narrative? I don't know. Okay, listen, they had one of the most successful leisure brands for women. You know, that pink brand. It was a Victoria's Secret venture, and I don't know how many women, or I guess, yeah, girls around my age in the mid 2000s, early 2010s, they all had the fucking pink hoodies, sweatshirts. It was a very profitable brand. Okay, and then they canceled that. And now they're canceling their runway show. And what are they replacing it with? Here are some of their new spokespeople. Okay, transgendered model and a plus size model. Cool. Along with resident lesbian disaster who champions more for equal pay for U.S. women's soccer than she does for actually playing soccer at this point. So this is going to go over well, I'd imagine. Angels have fallen. Victoria's Secret replaces its racy catwalk show with diverse spokeswomen. Cool. That seems like an apples to apples comparison. Including Priyanka Chopra and Megan Rapinoe. Along with transgender and plus-size models, and they won't be posing in bras. Well, thankfully, if it's going to be a plus-size model show, I'm actually alright with that. Victoria's Secret has unveiled its new diverse lineup of spokeswomen, and they all suck. I wouldn't let them suck, but they just do. This includes actress Priyanka Chopra Jonas, 38. Nothing looks better than a 38-year-old in a set of lingerie. About 15 years out of date. And Megan Rapinoe. They won't even bother putting her age because nobody wants to see that in her fucking training bra and an ass that looks like a frog standing up. The women won't be posing in lingerie, which is smart because you're supposed to be selling lingerie, but instead appear on a podcast. Great, just what we need out there. Another untalented bunch of women just yapping on a podcast. God, is it that hard to get on The View? Revamp described as completely cause-driven with a focus on inclusivity. Again, you're trying to sell something that makes you more attractive, but no, just lower the bar so that your fat ass will just trip over it on your way to go get another Three Musketeers. Great. It comes 3 years after Victoria's chief marketing officer, Ed Razik, quit after claiming the public wasn't interested in seeing plus-size or transgendered models based. Oh, we'll just read a little bit of this because it's too goddamn depressing. And okay, Chopra's relatively attractive, and that's a decent-looking 38, but Rapinoe's 35? What the fuck? Anyways, it was once one of the most glamorous brands in the world, known for the catwalk show of sexy, slender models who would train for months to ensure they looked their part. Yeah, exactly. It's almost like the bodybuilding competitions. You can almost see it, but that's a big picture of Arnold. It's right there. It's him on stage within the first, 10-15 minutes of pumping iron. He's standing there. He knows he's won. He has his arms stretched out wide because he worked so hard to be in peak physical condition. And the equivalent of that used to be the Victoria's Secret runway show. But now, no, don't worry about that. Women, don't be attractive. We're just moving closer and closer and closer to our gray jumpsuit future. Terrific. But after facing years of plummeting sales figures and ongoing backlash over its lack of diversity, or maybe the fact that you're experiencing backlash and plummeting sales figures is because you keep trying to push this whole transgendered people as attractive models where nobody really wants that, and plus size models which make people gag because bras shouldn't come with cup sizes that are synonymous with drink containers at 7-Eleven. God. Victoria's Secret has finally succumbed to its critics, or the people that are actually staffing, or whoever's left, by coming up with a new way to promoting its brand after a famed catwalk show was cancelled in 2019, yes. A year after they sent somebody with a bulge out there. It's out there. The lingerie giant has unveiled its new diverse lineup of spokeswomen, which include Priyanka Chopra Jonas and Megan Rapinoe. Indian actress Priyanka, 38, who is married to singer Nick Jonas. Dude, you could have done so much better. And LGBT advocate and footballer Megan Rapinoe, who is 35, and I can't fucking believe it. Join a roster of other diverse leading icons, right down the ice cream aisle, that have been recruited to shape the future of the brand, and the shape is going to be circular. Page 6 reported on Wednesday, a source told the publication that women won't be posing in lingerie. Again, what do you sell exactly? A shitty podcast. But will instead appear on a podcast and marketing materials for a recovering brand. Yeah, you're just going to kill it. So yeah, Scooby-Doo, video games, and things like that. God damn it. Oh, I can't wait for us to get out of this decade because I just can see the backlash on this, and oh boy. Oh, it's going to be open season, and I'm going to love it. With that said, guys, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Catch y'all later.